The story of Joseph, described in Genesis chapter 37, unfolds as a fascinating narrative that transcends mere family conflicts to encompass profound themes such as faith, providence, and redemption that affect an entire nation. This episode is not simply a personal drama or a clash between brothers, but a representation of how human dynamics can influence and reflect much larger divine plans. Joseph, the central character, is introduced as an almost tragic figure whose fate seems to be marked by both paternal preference and fraternal envy. This initial setting underscores a recurring theme in the biblical narrative: how favoritism within a family can trigger events of significant consequences. There is a deep connection to other biblical narratives, like the story of Abel, who was also a victim of his brother's envy, resulting in fatal consequences. These stories not only establish parallels but also offer moral and spiritual lessons on the complications arising from favoritism and envy. In this pastoral family, Joseph, at 17, stands out as the favorite son of his father, Jacob, also known as Israel. This preference is manifested in the multicolored tunic that Joseph receives, a gift that symbolizes both Jacob's special love and a sign of preference that alienates his brothers. This favoritism has its roots in a story of love and loss. Jacob deeply loved Rachel, Joseph's mother, preferred over his other wife Leah, and several concubines. The love story between Jacob and Rachel is one of the most moving in the Old Testament, marked by years of work and sacrifice that Jacob endured to win her hand. Rachel's premature death and giving birth to Benjamin adds a layer of tragedy to Jacob's life, intensifying his emotional connection and protection towards Joseph. This dynamic not only provides the context for the resentment between brothers but also highlights the importance of emotional management and balance within families, a theme widely discussed in the literature on family psychology. The complication in Joseph's life intensifies with the revelation of his prophetic dreams, where he sees himself in a position of authority over his family, symbolized by images of sheaves of wheat and stars bowing to him. These dreams, far from being mere youthful visions, are imbued with prophetic significance and are an omen of a grand divine design that Joseph does not fully understand at that time. However, his decision to share these dreams with his brothers, who were already resentful due to paternal favoritism, was perceived as a provocation, increasing the existing tension. This episode highlights the complexity of communicating visions that others may find threatening or provocative, a dilemma that has been explored in many cultures and religions, where visionaries often face persecution or rejection before their visions are finally validated or understood. When Jacob sends Joseph to check on the well-being of his brothers and the livestock in Shechem, he is unaware of the depth of resentment his brothers harbored towards Joseph. This act, though born out of genuine concern, inadvertently puts Joseph on a path of trial and tribulation. This episode illustrates the unintended chain of events that can be unleashed by seemingly innocuous decisions, a common theme in the narrative of many epic stories and classical tragedies. Reuben's intervention to prevent Joseph's death and the subsequent decision by Judah to sell him to a caravan of Ishmaelite merchants highlights the complexity of family dynamics and the moral decisions that can have unforeseen repercussions. These decisions become pivotal points that not only affect Joseph's life but also move the narrative towards his eventual rise and the subsequent salvation of his family during a time of famine. Joseph in Egypt faces even greater challenges. Despite being sold as a slave, his ability to interpret dreams and his unwavering integrity lead him to rise to positions to become the main administrator of Potiphar's house, and later, of all Egypt. The irony of Joseph, who was sold for interpreting dreams and then ascended for the same skill, is a powerful narrative about how abilities can be both a blessing and a cause of adversity, depending on the context. His experience in Egypt, which includes being falsely accused by Potiphar's wife and his subsequent imprisonment, highlights resilience and faith in times of trial. Joseph's protection and promotion in Egypt not only reflect divine providence but also the importance of maintaining integrity and ethics in adverse situations, a theme that resonates in many ethical and spiritual traditions. Joseph's narrative is not only a tale of personal overcoming and divine administration but also a fascinating study of human psychology and conflict resolution. Throughout his ordeal, Joseph demonstrates a remarkable ability to maintain his character and integrity despite extreme adversities. This behavior is exemplary in his final encounter with his brothers, where, instead of seeking vengeance, he opts for forgiveness and reconciliation. This act not only ensures the survival of his family but also teaches a valuable lesson on the power of forgiveness and mercy in situations of betrayal and conflict. Joseph's willingness to forgive his brothers, despite their betrayal, is a powerful example for leaders and mediators on how to approach and resolve prolonged disputes with compassion and wisdom, principles that are applicable both in family contexts and in diplomatic or business negotiations. Furthermore, Joseph's story offers insights into management and leadership in times of crisis. Upon becoming the governor of Egypt, Joseph implements a resource management strategy that saves the nation and surrounding regions from a devastating famine. By storing grain during years of abundance and distributing it during years of scarcity, Joseph not only demonstrates foresight and exceptional administrative skills but also a deep understanding of economics and sustainability. These actions highlight the importance of planning and prudent resource management, a crucial lesson for today's leaders faced with global economic and environmental challenges. Finally, Joseph's journey highlights the importance of adaptability and perseverance in personal and professional development. From being sold as a slave to rising to one of the highest positions in Egypt, Joseph's ability to adapt to changing circumstances and continue working towards his goals, even in situations of uncertainty, is a testament to the resilient human character. The story underscores that often, obstacles can be transformed into opportunities for growth and leadership. Joseph's life serves as an inspiring reminder that regardless of initial hardships, perseverance and faith in oneself, combined with shrewd adaptability, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. And so we come to the end of this presentation. Thank you for being part of our channel, a space where we seek to share divine wisdom and reflections on faith. I send you a warm greeting and a big hug. Until next time, and may God bless you.